Some people seem to have an endless reservoir of energy for their goals, while others burn out before lunch. The difference isn't age, it's not genetics, it's understanding. The Japanese have this understanding. They call it Yamato-Damashii, the ancient spirit that fuels sustainable power. It's the reason Musashi could fight over 60 duels without ever being too exhausted to win. Why earthquake survivors summon the strength to rebuild entire lives from nothing. Why masters devote 70 years to their craft and still rise each morning with purpose. In this video, I'll show you 5 hidden energy leaks you didn't even know existed, and 5 ancient Japanese principles that transform those leaks into power. Let's begin with the first trap, the one that's quietly stealing your energy the moment you wake up. Part 1. Gambaru. Stop wasting your sword on breakfast. In Japanese, there are 2 distinct forms of effort. The first is Gambaru, to grit your teeth and give your absolute all, to push through adversity with full force. In Japanese culture, this is deeply respected. But here's the key. It is reserved for moments that truly demand it. The second is Gaman, to endure patiently without complaint, to persist without spectacle, quiet, composed, steady. Both are sacred. But here's your problem, you've only learned one. You live your entire day in Gambaru mode, every email, every minor task, every errand. You charge at them with full force like they're battles for your life. The samurai never made that mistake. They reserved Gambaru for the final blow, not the walk to the battlefield. When Tokugawa Ieyasu laid siege to Osaka Castle, he didn't attack daily. He waited. He let tension, fatigue, and fear wear down his enemies. Then when the timing was perfect, he struck once, with force. He used Gaman for the months of patience, Gambaru for the single decisive moment. That's strategy. The Hagakure warns, the warrior who treats every moment as life or death will be spent when real battle arrives. True samurai knew most of life is Gaman, watching, preparing, enduring. They saved their fire. You don't. You attack your morning routine, grit through your commute, power through a workout, force every task. By noon, you've burned the energy meant to last a week. Why? None of those moments demanded your sword. You've been taught to fight everything. But the masters knew. Not every swing needs strength. Most swings need precision. When samurai practiced, they didn't go full force. They refined a single cut 10,000 times. Smooth, sustainable, intentional. Only in the final test did they use full power. You've forgotten that distinction. The West turned Gambaru into grind culture and forgot that Gaman even existed. But Japan remembered, one is for sprinting, one is for enduring. You're trying to sprint a marathon. Of course you collapse by mile 3. Tomorrow you'll face a choice. Unleash full effort on every task and burn out by evening. Or move with Gaman and save your Gambaru for when it truly counts. But even if you master this, you'll still drain your power if you don't understand the next principle. Because right now, your force is scattered. And the samurai had a name for why that guarantees defeat. Part 2. Ikkitousen, a single force, 1,000 outcomes. In feudal Japan, one trained samurai could hold a bridge against an entire army. Not because of raw strength, but because of where they placed it. The Takeda clan's cavalry didn't storm the battlefield randomly like European knights. They observed, waited. And when they found the one weak point that would collapse the enemy's formation, they struck there with everything. The battle ended not in days, but minutes. Japanese martial arts work the same way. In kendo, beginners spend an entire year learning one strike. Men. The head blow, no variation, no flair, just thousands of precise repetitions. Westerners find this frustrating, but by the end of that year, that one strike can cut through any defense. Even the katana itself is a study in focus. European swords try to block, thrust, slice. The katana, it does one thing, cut, but it does it with such perfection that nothing can withstand it. Now look at your life. You split your focus between 10 goals. 10 tasks, 10 projects. Each gets a sliver of attention diluted by switching costs and mental friction. You think you're multitasking. You're bleeding energy. Sen no Rikyu transformed Japanese culture by answering one question for 40 years. How do you serve tea with perfect grace? Not 40 questions, one. Because mastery doesn't come from scattered effort. It comes from sustained pressure in a single direction. You already know this. Your best work? It happens when you're fully locked in. Your best conversations? When you're fully present? Your deepest joy? From deep mastery, not shallow variety. But here's the catch. Even perfect focus isn't enough, because most people get stuck in the next trap forever. Part 3. Shuhari. Why you're trapped in eternal beginner mode. New workout, new planner, new habits. You're always starting something, but nothing sticks. And you're exhausted before noon. The Japanese mapped this pattern centuries ago. It's called Shuhari, the 3 stages of mastery. Shu means to obey. You copy exactly, follow the form, repeat the rules. Ha means to break. You question the rules. Modify, adapt, explore. Ri means to transcend. The rules dissolve into instinct. You become the principle itself. Your problem is you live in perpetual Shu. Shu is necessary, but it's supposed to be scaffolding, temporary. In Shu, every action requires thought. Every choice takes effort. Watch a new driver gripping the wheel, checking every mirror, drained after 30 minutes. That's Shu. Now watch a master driver cross a continent in one day, barely tired. Not because of strength, but because their body moves without thought. No energy leaks. In Ha, you begin to improvise. The calligrapher stops counting brushstrokes and starts feeling rhythm. The craftsman hears the cut instead of measuring it. Thought fades. Flow begins. In Ri, you are the art. No hesitation, no calculation, just expression. That's why 95-year-old sushi master Jiro can work longer than his 25-year-old apprentices. He's not thinking anymore. He's flowing. You, however, restart Shu with every new system. New apps, new diets, new schedules. You never get past day 1. You're addicted to novelty. Paying the energy cost of beginners without ever earning the return of mastery. Remember this. Shu burns the most energy for the least result. Ha burns less. Ri burns none. Mastery gives energy. Perpetual beginning drains it. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer resets. But even if you attain mastery, there's still one more trap, the most invisible drain of all. Part 4. Makoto. The energy leak you never talk about. You're not tired from work. You're tired from pretending. The Japanese call it Makoto. Sincerity, truth, living in alignment with who you are. Not as a soft virtue, but as a survival mechanism. The Bushido Code warns, if you intend to strike, strike directly. Do not waste your energy in the roundabout. You feel drained not because your life is hard, but because you're constantly performing. You say yes when you want to say no. Smile when you feel nothing. Pretend interest in things that bore you. That's not kindness. That's exhaustion. Modern Japan knows this intimately. They have 2 words, hani, your true self, tatamai, the mask you wear in public. The wider the gap, the greater the collapse. Karoshi, death from overwork, isn't always caused by work. It's caused by pretending you're okay when you're not. Watch a master craftsman, a potter who has shaped clay for 40 years. They don't force it, don't fake anything. They respond to what's real. That's why they can work all day and finish energized. You do the opposite. You laugh when you don't want to. Pretend confidence you don't feel. Force yourself to care about things that don't matter. Each falsehood burns glucose, muscle tension, mental RAM. You're not working, you're acting. All day, every day. The swordsmith Masamune had students who showed off with elaborate blades. He made simple ones, flawless ones. When asked why, he said, I don't shape the metal. I reveal what it already is. That's Makoto. No performance, just truth. And until you live in Makoto, you'll always be tired. Even before Monday begins, the dread sets in. Not from work, but from the performance required. The mask you must wear, that mask is killing you. You want your energy back? Choose truth. Choose Makoto. But one final principle makes all the difference, not in action, but in what comes after. Part 5. Zanshin, the pause that restores everything. The Japanese word Zanshin means remaining mind. It's the presence you hold after the action ends, and it's where your energy multiplies or vanishes. In Kyudo, Japanese archery masters can hit targets blindfolded, not because of magic, but because of Zanshin. Their follow-through is more precise than their release. Their awareness after the act is what determines success. Here's what science now confirms. When you complete a task with full presence and pause to feel completion, your nervous system rewards you. Dopamine, serotonin, restoration, but only if you pause. Rush into the next task, and you get nothing. The samurai learned this on the battlefield. Those who dropped their awareness after the final strike died. Those who maintained Zanshin survived. Calligraphers show this daily. After the final stroke, they don't rush. They let the ink settle, let the breath return, let the moment live. You send the email. Next. Finish the call. Next. Complete the set. Next. No Zanshin, no energy return, just constant depletion. Even your breathing reflects this. Western exercise says inhale, exhale, inhale. Japanese martial arts teach inhale, exhale, pause. That pause is Zanshin. It's where the body actually receives the breath. Try this tomorrow. After every task, pause for 3 seconds. Feel the completion. Let your system restore. You'll be shocked at the power of stillness. Final words. Gaman teaches sustainable effort. Ikkitusen teaches focused power. Shuhari teaches progression toward mastery. Makoto teaches energy through truth. Zanshin teaches recovery through presence. Your exhaustion was never random. It was the result of energy leaks, each one silent, invisible, devastating. The Japanese have a saying, Nana korabi yaoki, fall 7 times, rise 8, but not in the same way. Rise differently, rise wiser, rise with conservation, rise with mastery over your own energy. Most people won't. They'll stay tired, stay scattered, stay lost in performance. Some will try. They'll adopt one principle, feel better, and then slide back into old habits. Better than nothing. But not transformation. But a few, very few, will get it. They'll study this path like the samurai studied combat. They'll apply it like the craftsman applies his brush. And they'll become the ones who seem tireless, superhuman, legendary. But they're not. They're just smart about energy. Now you know. The question is not why you're tired. The question is, will you do something about it? About